Hi guys, Chris Buck here with the State Agent today. Now I'm joined by Ben Brookes of Agency Express, the board man, the guy to know. So Ben, thank you so much for joining us. I've got to start. There's a lot of agent boards I see up and down the country and they're not great. If you were to redesign your board or design a board from afresh right now, how would you do it?
Well, pleasure to be here, Chris. First of all, thanks for having me with you. I think one of the common misconceptions with boards is that making it fussy, detailed, complicated makes it more interesting for people to see. If I was going to redesign a board, you want to start by using the free color, which is white. So Corex, the stuff the boards are printed on, by its very nature, is white. And the more color, the more ink you put onto a board, the more expensive it'll become. So use as much white on the board as you can that's going to work with your design. You need to make sure that your logo is nice and big and your name is nice and big. Another common misconception is, again, fiddly fine writing or very much design-led. Logos in corners is a good way to go, and it just gets lost. So big and bold and brash is always good. And then make sure we know what the property is actually doing. Is it for sale? Is it to let? Is it under auction? Again, that can often get lost. So think about the way the board image appears to people as they drive past. What do you actually want to punch home to them? Your name, your number, and the status of the board. What's being sold, what's being marketed at the property. That's so often lost to people when they go past. So lots of white, big and bold. Make sure they can see your number.
Perfect. So how important is getting your website on as well as the number? Because I sometimes see huge websites. I'm thinking, well, if your brand's on there, people are just going to Google you. What's your view on that, Ben?
Yeah, I don't think it's as important as perhaps some people think. We all know how to find someone's website these days. It's perhaps not as vital as it used to be 15, 20 years ago to punch home that you have a website. People are going to expect that. There's been a lot of chatter about QR codes, text codes, NFC chips in boards, but really what it actually comes down to is them recognizing your brand. Because what they're going to remember when they go home isn't, oh, I quite liked that three-bed semi at One the Street. They're going to remember, oh, it was on somewhere around there and it was marketed with Ben Brookes Estate Agents. That's what I remember. So branding, it's the same as any other form of marketing, really. It's the brand that sticks. So that's what you want to punch home to someone.
Okay, love it. I've got to put you on the spot. If you were to pick maybe one independent agent you work with up and down the land that has a brilliant board, who would that be and why?
Oh, always dangerous. Different board designs have different qualities. There's a customer here in Norwich, very local to our head office, called Gilson Bailey, who use a big, round, sort of oval-shaped board with primary colours. That really punches well. Cut-out boards are a nice way to go. It does add a bit of extra cost, but it gives you something quite unique, and you can have sort of an inverse cutout where it's cut out in the centre of the board, or a shape. Your move have a nice cutout board as well that they use around the UK. But yeah, if I had to pick one, Google Gilson Bailey's board here in Norwich. That's pretty damn good.
Okay, we'll put that in the article below. So I've got to ask you, Ben, you're obviously in your position, you get to see loads of trends, load of data, maybe before the rest of the estate agency industry picks up on it. So if you're an agent watching this right now and you were to share with them that you were to coach them maybe on one thing and only one that you would be doing, what would that be and why?
Well, a shameless plug here, if I can, Chris. We have something called the Agency Express Property Activity Index, which actually logs all that data. So if you go on our website, you can get access to all of that. It's free. You just have to give us your email address, and then we'll send it to you every month. So we track what happens in the market, what we're seeing in terms of trends, turnaround speeds, how quickly properties are selling, the hot spots or areas where lots of new properties are coming on the market. And one thing that we see that others don't is we're not mortgage driven. So we're not seeing it just by how many mortgages are approved or granted. We're seeing it by how many boards are actually going up on the street. If I had to give one bit of advice at the moment, it's probably service focus. It's not so much at the moment that we're seeing huge peaks and troughs in certain areas. So, agents perhaps in rural territories this time last year, we're seeing huge upswings in activity with the sort of great migration from the city centres. Not really seeing that at the moment. What we are feeling on the ground is there's a bit of a general malaise in the public. I think everyone's tired, everyone's worn out, and people who are looking to move or are looking for a change, they need to feel cared for, they need to feel loved, they need to feel looked after. So if I gave a tip to anyone at the moment, it would be that every instruction you receive is golden, and care for that person, because that chain is going to be what's going to put bread on the table. And I think we're in for a difficult couple of months with moving that cliff edge for the stamp duty holiday, and then obviously the introduction of 5% mortgages. We're in a bit of a no man's land for the next few weeks, so really taking care of those customers that will be.
Cool. Thank you so much, Ben. And for that last bit as well, getting in, I really appreciate it. For everyone here at Estate Agents Day, we wish you guys the best of luck, and we'll speak soon.